Guys, Eric from Ziebart, got another video today. We're going to talk about our undercoating protection we do on the vehicle. This is a brand new 2020 Hyundai Tucson that is from a dealership. I think the customers had it about a week, so we picked up the vehicle, we brought it in today, and we're going to perform undercoat. So I'm going to show you a before and an after and what we do with this process. So come on in, let's take a look. So as we can tell, guys, when this comes in, they do a lot of factory sound deadening, just for, again, exactly what it's called, it's sound deadening. They do hit a little bit of the rails up on the bottoms of the floorboards, right by the heat shields and stuff. So when we're gonna undercoat, we care about floorboards, fuel lines, brake lines, wheel wells, anything from pinch weld to pinch weld. You go inside pinch weld to inside pinch weld. We stay away from moving objects such as CV shafts, drive shafts, transmissions. We don't hit oil pans, transmission pans. We also stay away from heated objects like your exhaust, your heat shield, muffler, resonators, cats, anything of that nature. So if we go underneath this vehicle, it's a 2020, like I said. I think it's only got about 60 miles on it, so we can actually see what it looks like underneath here. We'll talk about some rust-prone areas. So if we come underneath here, we can see these spot welds right here. These little spot welds is where, from the factory, they took two panels and they put a lot of heat and they actually spot weld this together. That right there burns off factory galvanization. This is why this rust underneath here. This seam is what's going to want to rust. Same as your wheel welds, same as your pinch welds. Those pinch welds have hundreds of spot welds that run all the way down through here. You can see them everywhere. Those will rust, every single one. So it's imperative. So before we do this vehicle, on our initial applications, we will remove all these plastic panels that cover your fuel lines and your brake lines. We will plastic off your exhaust. Your drive shaft, in this case, has a carrier bearing. We'll also plastic off this just so we don't create a vibration. Same thing with your axle shafts, your half axles. This being an all-wheel drive vehicle, it has small little axles that come from your transmissions and your differentials. Again, it can create vibrations. We're going to plastic that all off to make sure that we're in this correctly. So we're going to remove this. We'll come back and show you what's exposed underneath it. Hey guys, we're back again. So we went ahead and we removed these covers on the bottom. You can see over here on the driver's side that this was actually designed to protect from factory their fuel lines right here. So this is their setting unit of their fuel lines. It does have brake lines attached in here. You can see that they just have this plastic housing that runs it up through here. But on the top, it is all exposed. So this sits up here. This one really does nothing. It's just for symmetry. They just put it over here to make it match. The big negative about these is, as you can imagine, as these sit up here, they're just collecting the sodium chloride, the liquid de-icer that we use here in upstate New York. Also just the salt, the dirt, the road grime, it just sits there. There's no way for it to come out. So it is absolutely critical that we drop these panels and we protect this before this goes back up and this gets exposed to the road salt. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to spray this and we're going to come back. Also, another thing I forgot to add in the first video, guys, is undercoat is a two-fold system. Protects. It's also a 60% sound deadener. So it can reduce noise up to 60% underneath your vehicle. So box vans, pickup trucks, that's a huge difference. So we'll come back here in a couple of minutes when it's all shot. We'll show you a finished product. Hey guys, back with the final video here, talking about our new 2020 Hyundai Tucson. So this is the finished product underneath here. This is our undercoat that we just applied. So as you can see, we're going to hit the front carriage, the control arms, the whole floor, critical to fuel lines, brake lines, this whole assembly area, which would have been covered by the plastics. We obviously have to make sure we hit very well. To put it back up there, we'll know that it's protected. So this takes about 24 to 48 hours to cure to the point where it's not wet. It kind of becomes more of a rubberized finish. It is very resistant to road abrasion. You know, this is a permanent undercoat. This is not a liquidy runny, oil-based product. This is a very thick, dense, rubberized oil, abrasion-resistant undercoat. So that means this is a permanent solution. This is applied once a year. You come back in, we put it up on the lift, we pre-clean it, put it up on the lift, and we just touch up the areas that are needed. Typically on these vehicles, which is kind of opposite of what you would think. You would think lower the cars to the ground, like say a car, Toyota Camry, Honda Civic. You would think that would actually have more road abrasion because it's so much closer. It's actually the opposite. The taller your vehicle, the more area there is between the road and the bottom surface of your vehicle, so that stones get more momentum to kick up and more area for all the slush to hit it. So these vehicles that are lower to the ground actually hold up extremely well. Very little touch-up process with it. So that's a service that you buy when you get Ziebart. You get a lifetime free resprays. You pay one time. You get a great initial application, and you get our guarantee every single year. You don't have to repay for it. You don't take it home and it drips in your driveway for 3-4 days. Every time it rains, it's running down your road. It's not like that. The only thing you will notice in your vehicles when you first get it sprayed, you will notice a little bit of a smell for a day or two. That's just anything that's anywhere near the exhaust. It's just burning it off a little bit. It's a minor smell. You know, it's only there for a day or two. It will dissipate. That's about the only thing that you'll really notice about this process. So if you want to come back in here and look, you can kind of see some of the details. Obviously, we're not going to hit this plastic. It's a plastic gas tank. No need to hit it. But we do hit the metal straps. You can see that we stayed away from the rear diff. Again, moving parts, moving components. A lot of this stuff has covers on it that actually dissipate heat. You don't want to cover that and block that diffusion of heat to heat up the gear oil, cause issues. So our guys are very conscious of it. We stay away from EVAP sensors, purge valves, anything like that. So our guys are highly trained. They have to go through a certification course before they become an undercoat rust proof technician. So as we move back here, you can see the exhaust is nice and clean. Our drive shaft is nice and clean. The diff, the exhaust, everything underneath there. So this is basically the whole process, guys. So you're going to take this home. We're going to let this sit outside for a couple hours before they call the customer. We're going to let it cure up a little bit here, just in case it was to be raining outside. We don't want the fresh, wet application to come off. So we'll give this customer a call a couple hours. They can take it home. They'll be good to go for next year. We'll see you next year. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.